Hello everyone, it's me Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. We are so close to ending 2020. It is time to set up my bullet journal for 2021, which I am always so super excited about. Despite the fact that I rarely use my bullet journal properly or utilize it in the correct ways, to benefit me and my life and my really procrastinating schedule. For some reason, I just can't not have a bullet journal. I must always have one, despite the fact I don't really ever use it properly, which just speaks volumes about the type of person I am, really, doesn't it? This year, I am using a brand new bullet journal, one that I have never used before. This is an Otagami brand bullet journal, which I'm very, very excited about using. It's got a really, really nice pink cover. The outside was a little bit damaged on the spine at the bottom when I received it, which is a little bit annoying, but I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. We're not going to focus on it. We're going to focus on 2021. Do not ruin this for us, please. We need a good year this year. My bullet journal setup is always the same each and every single year, except I think the way that I set up my monthlies and my weeklies tends to fluctuate between trying to be as bright and colourful and cluttered as possible to what is the least amount of effort I can put into doing this and still make it look good. I think one of the reasons I don't use my bullet journal properly is I don't have the drive to, and I don't have the motivation to, and I don't do enough in my life in order to really warrant the use of a full one. But this year I am doing my best to keep it as minimalistic as possible, to make it faster and easier for me to set up every single month. And hopefully coupled with my specific goals I have this year, I will be using this properly, and I will fill it out each month, and I will use the weeklies, and I will do the goals I set each week, and yeah, it's fingers crossed. We have my year at a glance page here. Usually I call it my future log. It's year at a glance this year. I've just got each and every month as a tiny little mini calendar going all the way around. Most times I see this, the months go anti-clockwise. So you'll start on the middle left, and you'll go left round to the top middle right side for the months, which is just a really, really weird way of looking at it, because our eyes naturally go to the right as we're looking at something. So we've got the actual months going clockwise because it just makes a bit more sense, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I set my bullet journal up weird. At least I think it's weird for me. I try and cram as much stuff before I start my January monthlies as I possibly can, because for some reason I don't like some certain things being after I've started the monthly setup. Don't ask me why. It doesn't feel right to me to have my specific spreads after January. It has to be before January, because some of my spreads are year specific spreads, things that will not just take place in January but will take place throughout all of the months of the year. We're finishing up the year at a glance here, where I can be a bit more specific with all of the dates I've got going on in all of the months. Again, this is super simplistic and minimalistic, a lot more simple than I usually do my year at a glance and the rest of the setup for it. And of course, my quote, I don't want to call this a yearly quote. Usually I try and find a quote that sort of encompasses the goals and the yearly goals I have for the year as sort of my yearly motto almost. I'm not quite sure that this sort of encompasses everything that it is that I want to do, but it is definitely encompassing two things I really do need to focus on in regards to sorting my life out in the way that I feel like it needs sorting out, as in be more productive and be more motivated in doing all of the things that I do. Because as a mum of 4 who only work part-time, so I technically do have plenty of time to focus on the things I want to focus on. Doesn't mean I focus on the things I want to focus on at all. I think I focus more on things like YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, Sims. It's I need a focus and I need a drive in my life, and I have those things in my head, but I need to focus on actually doing those things. So this year, like I say every year, but this year is going to be the year that I hopefully bring out my full motivational potential. So my quote is, 2 things you are in total control of in your life are your attitude and your effort, which is 100% true. Only I control my attitude towards things. Only I control how much effort it is that I put into my work and that I put into my productivity and my motivation. And there's only so much I can blame my lack of any of these on other things. It is me not going to bed at a decent time, and it is me choosing to not be productive when I have time to be productive, and it is me going, oh, it's fine, I can do it tomorrow, when really I can't do it tomorrow. I'm just pretending I can to give myself more time to do nothing. And then we've got my year on the other side. It's not filled out yet. That is going to be my 3 main goals of this year once they are filled out. It's always a challenge trying to come up with decent goals. Personally, for me, I like them to have a little bit of creativity to them. Last year, my whole theme for the year was hindsight 2020, which I'm still so happy that I managed to come up with that. Like, I'm extremely happy that I thought of that. I thought of that in like August of 2019, and I was just counting down months until I could do my 2020 goals and be like, this is what I have come up with. I'm so fantastic. And then my goals are always really the same each and every year. I focus on 3 different things. I focus on my life, I focus on my health, and I focus on my writing. So this year, my 3 subsets of goals are positivity, responsibility, and creativity, all with their each little T mugs, because I spelt them TEA. Don't ask me why. But these are the 3 things that I'm going to be focusing on this year. And little rainbow there, because why not? I've been obsessed with this type of rainbow for a while. Again, not filled out. More information on all of that coming soon. And then just a little design on all the mugs, because why not? I need to put a little bit of colour into my bullet journal somehow. I can't just have a black and white bullet journal. I like the minimalistic style, but there needs to be colour somewhere, otherwise I don't know, it just doesn't feel right for me. And I used to be really obsessed with like washi tape and stuff, but recently I haven't been using as much washi tape. I think I'm sort of growing out of washi tape, which I'm super sad about because I love collecting it. But I was doing this video, and before I started doing everything, I was looking through my washi tape box and like, which ones can I use? And I just couldn't find any that I really wanted. I was like, oh, I don't like that style. Oh, I don't like that design. Oh, well, that's not nice anymore. Where last year I absolutely loved the designs that I had. So I think I'm slightly growing out of washi tape, which again I'm so super sad about. You'll see later in this video, I've cut the bits out where I put it in, but I put in washi tape on certain pieces of spreads. And then after I'd done the video, I took them off because I didn't like how it looked. But you can see at the end when I do a quick flip through, you can see the washi tape there that I put in that is not there anymore because it just didn't look right. These are the 2 spreads that I was talking about. I can't have them after January. Books to read this year because I need to read books. And then shiny new ideas. That is mostly related to writing. This isn't anything to do with AuthorTube or anything like that. Shiny new ideas is literally just going to be story ideas or, you know, certain inspirations that I find. And then books to read this year, I'm splitting up into 3 different categories because I need to branch out of YA, because I feel like the reason I'm not reading as much as I want to is because I mostly just read YA, and YA has just been so disappointing for me recently. Seriously, if anybody has any decent YA books that they've read, that do not have a main focus on romance, because that ruins the hell out of everything in YA. Please let me know and recommend me some, because I need a list. I need a list that's not going to disappoint me and I'm going to be really excited about, okay? I need a new Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I do. I really do. Here's where I made my first mistake, and it's not a visual first mistake, it's a setup first mistake, which I didn't realise I'd made until after I'd done it, and it's not really massively bothering me, but it's something that I made sure to note down on my little preparation piece of paper. Make sure that you put this specific spread in before you do the actual physical monthly setup. And I was like, okay, that's good, that's in my head. And then I forgot to do it, and I didn't realise until afterwards, and I was like, oh, well, now I have no choice, and now it's raining. I'm currently sitting in my car at the moment doing this voiceover recording because all of the kids are at home, the husband is home, and UK is back in lockdown again because people can't listen to rules, and so Grandma Day doesn't exist at the moment again. So this is literally the only place I can sit in my house where I'm not going to have any children screaming in the background. So yeah, I'm sitting in my car doing this voiceover at the moment. It's absolutely hilarious. So there's the nice aesthetic ASMR rain there in the background for you. My monthly setup is also a lot different than I usually do. I usually do one big massive calendar over the 2 pages, and then in each little box I'll write down what I'm doing on that particular day. I'll note down when my live streams are, I'll note down when my videos are supposed to be coming out. I've got a little section for everything I've got to do that month, my goals I want to do that month, a little section which has my YouTube upload schedule on it. That was too much effort. I hated doing that. It was such a pain in the butt. So I'm going very, 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 very simple this year. With just January, again, we've got a monthly calendar, and then we've just got a simple list calendar going down with all of the numbers and all of the days of the month. I did forget to put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday down on the other side. I've literally only just realised I haven't done that. But then I will note down what days I've got stuff to do. I will note down with a star what days I'm going to be uploading, and I'll put with, I don't know, a highlight or something on the days that I'm planning to live stream every second Wednesday. And that is as basic as I'm going to go for like the physical monthly setup calendar, at least, of January. And then we've got my goals page. This is a bit more of a bigger page than I usually do. Usually it's like a little square with the calendar. I wanted it to be a bit more impressive, is not the right word, but I wanted it to be more impactful. For me personally, when I go through and go to January, my goals will be there. They'll be big, they'll be more obvious, they're right there for me to look at. And each month I'm going to have 4 new goals I want to focus on for that month, and they will be based on my 3 main goals for the year, and they will be taken from positivity, responsibility and creativity. I don't know what my goals for January are going to be at the moment. I have not filled out that particular box just yet, but I do have my yearly list of goals I'm going to pull from sometime in the next week or so, at least before January 1st hits. I'm always a bit about doing goals each month. Like, I know it's needed. I need the goals in order to make me do things, but I suck at sticking to deadlines that I am imposing on myself, because I'm not going to punish me for not doing these things if I miss the deadline, and I'm not going to tell myself off if I don't do something I've said I'm going to do. So it's very easy for me to just be like, it's okay, we can push it on to another day. It's absolutely not a problem whatsoever. I need to not do that this year, and I need to actually do the goals. And I have a really bad habit of giving myself really, really big goals with a very, very short deadline, which doesn't work well for me because I leave it to the last minute and then I get myself stressed out and burnt out trying to finish it all. So the plan is to give myself smaller goals with at least a month worth of deadline. Then if it's a big goal, I'll have to then break that goal down into easy to do segments. So say I needed to rewrite a project, I'd make sure I do at least 12 chapters one month and then 12 chapters the next month. So it's broken down into easier segments for me to actually do. I have a brain dump page on here as well, which I'm going to do once a month just to have a brain dump. I have a journal for that really as free writing and a brain dump, but I like having it in my bullet journal as well. So if anything specific to what I'm doing with my goals is stressing me out, I'll stick it in my brain dump page. I can give it a look-see before I start my February setup, and then I can work on making a change in February based on my experience in January. I think that's something I also very need to importantly do, is look back and see what I'm doing wrong or what I'm struggling with, so I don't continue making those same mistakes as I go forward. It's all a learning experience, guys. We learn from our mistakes. So you make them, you analyse them, you change them, you move on. I skipped it all, I'm so sorry. These are my weeklies. Again, it's just going to be a simple line that I have with everything with the different colours, and they'll be colour coordinated each month, I suppose. I'm not giving myself much space every single day because I don't have a lot of things to do every single day, and giving myself a small space will make it look like I'm doing more than writing only a small amount on a massive entire page, which is what I was doing last year. And then I had a spare page on the side, which I don't like having. So I decided we're going to stick another quote in there, and this is a design quote. I don't do these very often. Usually if I want to do a quote, I will just do it in black. And I'll do it in some type of calligraphy, and then the majority of the page is going to be just like plain white with no design. I wanted this one to be like a statement quote, sort of like something for me to look at and think, okay, this is what I need to focus on. Like, this is what I need to remember going through the year. So the quote is, "Growth is growth, no matter how small," which I know. Growth is growth. Like, I do know that. I know that, but somehow I don't like it if my growth is small. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm not achieving anything if I'm growing only in small ways, even though I know that it is an achievement. I don't know what it is. I think it stems from the fact that I see people all the time growing a lot faster than I do, and you know, even if I'm putting in just as much effort as they are, or I feel like I'm doing just as good of a job as they are, like, how have you been blessed to grow this quickly? How are you growing faster than I've managed to grow? And that sort of puts me down, which I don't like, that I compare myself so much to other people. I mean, it's something every single creative person does in their life, right? They compare themselves to others, and comparing yourself is either going to push you to do better, to sort of see yourself as equal to this person you're comparing yourself to, or it's going to bring you down. And more than often or not, it brings me down because I don't know what it is. I sort of think to myself, why them, but not me? And it's such a bad thing to think, because these people are doing a fantastic job at their own growth with whatever it is that they're doing. And like, I shouldn't be jealous of the fact. I should be happy for them. And I am happy for them. Like, it's an amazing achievement what you're doing. But then it's like, but why is it also not happening to me? Like, what is it that I am doing wrong? Or what is it that is so unlikable about me that, you know, is preventing me from growing in the same way? And it's one of those mindsets I need to get myself out of, because focusing on the negativity is also in part one of the reasons why I am so unmotivated sometimes. I'm like, what's the point? You know, what's the point in doing all of this if nothing's going to come of it? But I just need to sort of let it go and just keep moving forward and focus on me and don't focus on anyone else. And I know these things, I say these things all the time, but sometimes you can't help what your brain thinks, you know, behind your back, or the thoughts that just cross your mind without you meaning for them to cross your mind, if I'm making any sense at all whatsoever. So growth is growth, no matter how small, and I wanted to do sort of like a little garden. I don't know why I'm, you know, drawing all of the rest of them actually upside down and not flipping the bullet journal around and just drawing them upwards. It's not like it was difficult. It's just really weird for me to see myself draw it upside down, actually. But, you know, I thought I need to have some flower designs somewhere in my bullet journal. I've always wanted to do like a nice big floral something in my bullet journal. This was the perfect place to do it. Now, the reason I'm really upset that I did the January setup before I did the next spreads is because these next spreads are, once again, year-long spreads. And it doesn't quite feel right to have them after January. I will need to add to these spreads anyway, so I guess it's not too bad that my January spread is so far from the front of my bullet journal. But, you know, what are you going to do about it? So these are the first of what will probably be many writer-related spreads in my bullet journal. I think the most important spreads that I wanted to do first was going to be things in regards to keeping myself on track with what I had to do and my work, making sure that I was keeping myself organised in regards to everything that I was going to do, especially because all 4 of my main projects at the moment are in their rewriting stage. So my 4 main projects this year are Project Body Swap, Project Theft, Project Faye and Abingdon House. These are the 4 that I am currently actively rewriting at the moment. I haven't quite started with Abingdon House or Project Theft yet. I still have to finish Project Theft. But these spreads are here to simply help myself keep track, and if I can explain correctly what I plan to do. Each different project has its own page. You've got the small column on the left which I'm going to write dates in, and the long column on the right to write down what specifically I have started on those dates. So we'll take Project Body Swap for example. The first day that I work on it will probably be the 1st of January. So on the 1st of January I have started rewriting chapter 30. And then say that takes me 2 days to do. The next day will be the 3rd of January where I will start rewriting chapter 31. And we're going to have that go through for all of the projects. So I've got a record of how often I'm working on all of these projects and how long it is taking me to complete these certain elements of each project. How long is it taking for me to rewrite a chapter for Abingdon House? How long has it taken me to finish writing this specific chapter for Project Theft? I will note down when I start looking for beta readers or when the beta reader things start and when other people start reading my work, just so I can keep track of how much I'm working on my projects, how long I'm spending on these projects, because I'm taking longer than I should do, because I'm not working on them as much as I should do. So it's just going to be a great reminder and motivator to see what I'm doing with all of my work. So hopefully it will keep me motivated, and hopefully it will keep me working, and hopefully, you know, hopefully things will be good. Growth is growth, no matter how small. So that is my bullet journal setup for 2021. I'm very, very, very excited about it. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you use a bullet journal? Have you started any of your preparations and goals for 2021? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.